Alrighty guys, today is session 4 of Granny Torrelli Makes Soup. So we last left off learning about Marco and this new role in the story and how he's going to fit into the parallel story of Rosie and Bailey and thinking about who is Marco in that story. So we're at the yellow house. Oh, and as always, if you have your Stop and Jot paper, go get that. So if you don't, pause it and go get it. The yellow house. What happens next is so strange that I wonder if it is the play in my head and not what is really happening. I'm standing there with my hands in the meatball mush, and Bailey's hands are right there in the bowl with mine. And I see a big truck coming slowly down the street, a moving van. It stops across the street, 3 doors down. I don't believe it, I say. What? Bailey says. Granny's eyes follow mine. She stares out the window and smiles a little smile. Moving van, I say. It looks like it's stopping in front of that empty house, almost across from yours, Bailey, the yellow one. Very funny, Bailey says. No, really, Bailey, really. I take my hands out of the mush and I go to the sink. I stare out the window. A car pulls up behind the moving van. 2 cars. In one, a woman and a little girl. In the other, a man and 2 boys. Maybe twins. Maybe my age. Maybe a little older. So that is page 123. Page 123. Are these new boys the Marco in this story? Actually, not of the story, of the play, because that is the word that Rosie has been using. So if Rosie's using that word, we should use that word. Bailey has joined me at the sink. Tell me, he says. I describe what I see. I tell him about the moving van and the 2 cars, about the man and the woman and the little girl. I tell him, oh, how casually I tell him about the 2 boys, maybe twins. I don't believe it, he says. He is agitated, annoyed, hating that he can't see for himself if I'm telling the truth. I beam at Granny Torrelli. Well, I think. Double Marco. I like that. 124, double Marco. I'm also thinking Bailey is now jealous. I do think he's frustrated because he can't see for himself if Rosie is telling the truth or not. But I think he knows that she's telling the truth, and I think he's more jealous too. So I think B is now jealous. Meatballs. Bailey is back at the bowl, snatching bits of meat goo and rolling them into balls and dropping them straight into the red pot of bubbling sauce. Bailey, Granny Torrelli says, gently, gently. The little meatballs are feeling bruised. Bailey mumbles. He slaps another meatball together and drops it in the pot. Hot red sauce splashes up, catching him on the wrist. He makes a face, but says nothing. I think not only is Bailey now jealous, I also think he is like Rosie, where he might have a stubborn side, and he doesn't want to admit he's jealous, just like Rosie. So that was this is page 126. Bailey is also stubborn. Want to go over and meet the new people? I ask Bailey. Can't, he says. I'm making meatballs. I thought you were helping. Granny swings her head from Bailey to me. A funny little expression on her face. I can't quite read what it means. Then she says, gotta take a little pause. And off she goes to the bathroom again, leaving me there with Bailey, the bruised meatballs, and the splashing sauce. I put my hands in the bowl, make a meatball, gently, gently, and place it in Bailey's hands so he can put it in the pot. His hands float there a minute, as if he is assessing the gift I've just given him. Then he plops it in the pot and says, I thought you were going outside to introduce yourself to the new neighbors. I hear an ice king in his voice. So that is also on page 126. He is the Ice King. My first impulse is to say, no, Bailey, I'm staying here with you forever. But something stops me. Some little sly fox who has replaced my tiger. I say nothing, which Bailey hates. I know it. Usually if I stop talking and he doesn't know why, he will put his hand on my face to read my expression, but his hands are sticky with meatball, and so he does not put them on my face. I know it is mean of me to be quiet right now, but the sly fox has taken over, and I am no longer in control of my rosy self. So we have another version of Rosie. We have her Ice Queen, we have her Tiger, and now her Sly Fox. So on page 127, we have Sly Fox Rosie. She really is a complicated lady. Bailey reaches for the bowl, finds my hands in it, and rests his hands on mine for the quickest second. Then pushes my hands to one side and grabs some meatball mush. I glance out the window. The new family is standing on the lawn talking to the truck drivers. One of the maybe twin boys is now dribbling a basketball. Huh, I say to the air. One of the new boys is dribbling a basketball. So, Bailey says. My sly fox pounces. I've always wanted to learn how to play basketball, I say. And then, because my fox is really mean, I add, maybe they will teach me. Plop. I hear another meatball drop into the pot. Plop, plop, 2 more. Granny Torrelli reappears from her pause. She studies me, studies Bailey, frowns a little. How's that sauce coming, Bailey? How are those meatballs? Couldn't be better, Bailey says in his Ice King voice. So that was a very big page. We got a lot of information. That was page 128. And on 128, Rosie did something very sly fox of her. Because we have to remember our evidence that Rosie spent time to learn Braille. And the whole argument that started this book about how Bailey told Rosie to get over herself, but now there's Bailey teaching Janine how to read Braille. So why shouldn't Rosie go over and learn basketball? It makes sense, but it's very sly of her. So 128, Rosie wants to learn basketball. My question is, that I'm asking is, does she actually want to learn to play basketball, or is she just saying she wants to learn to play basketball because her sly fox wants to make Bailey jealous? So I'm asking, sly fox just making B jealous? Because I have a feeling Rosie really couldn't care about learning how to play basketball, but I think Rosie and Bailey are both seeing the parallels between the story and how these double Marcos appear, and now Rosie could be the enchanting one, just like Granny Torrelli was. Alrighty, tomorrow we will continue with session 5 of Granny Torrelli Makes Soup by Sharon Creech. See ya then.